guys, I'm Nay. Well, I'm really Ijianay, but you call me Nay. How y'all doing? I'm excited, a little nervous, but that's okay, we work through it. As you guys know, or if you don't know, I'm a tarot reader. I'm here to really talk about how I started my spiritual journey and things like that. So let's just get right into it. Oh wait, hold on. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share right now before we start. Go do it now, okay? Y'all don't wanna miss out, okay? Also, if you already aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It might be in the link below, but if it's not, it's Tarot Queen, all caps. Follow me on Twitter too. It's Nay 3 underscores ITSNAAY 3 underscores. Now let's get into it, right? Y'all go see me looking down a lot because I'm really looking at this paper that I didn't really write notes, but Virgo things. I want to start by how I started my spiritual journey. So I started my spiritual journey in November 2019. It was really towards the end of it. Now, how I started was I went through like a traumatic separation with someone that I was in a connection with. We weren't together, so I can't say it was a breakup, but it felt like one. We were really connected. We had really. I kind of felt like I feel like he's my twin flame till this day. But I haven't really got confirmation on that. We just had this really strong connection. And like when we separated, it was weird. It was like really hard. But we're not gonna get into that. So, as I started, I really wanted to get connected with myself and start focusing on myself more, because I just felt like every person that I would get in a connection with, whether it was friends or a relationship, I would just always be let down. So I wanted to get connected with myself more and really vibe with myself. Like, I kind of didn't want hurt and pain to hurt me anymore. So I felt like focusing on myself and just really being more in tune with myself would help me out with that. So I would get on YouTube and watch YouTube videos, regular YouTube videos. Like, I used to watch De'Aaron, but I stopped. I was watching, I don't even remember what I was watching. I think I was looking for a video with De'Aaron, but something stopped me. It was this video on my YouTube that popped up. It says Virgo something. I don't remember the title, but it was like Virgo something. So I clicked it, I wanted to look more into it. And I watched it, and she was just giving me so much information on what I was currently going through with my person and like with myself. And I was just like, what is this? What is this? So I'm like, how does she know this stuff? And I never talked to her, don't even know her. And like, she had cards. So I'm like, what is these cards? I was just confused. I never knew anything about anything. So I just got deeper into it. I would read the comments, see stuff that they was talking about and things like that. I think I lied. Actually, before I watched that video, I started meditating. I felt like meditating would help me get more in tune with myself. So I started meditating. I did like 5-minute meditations, 5 to 10 minute meditations a day. And that's when the YouTube stuff popped up. So I just started getting into that. And what I first thought about a spiritual journey was people really made it seem like, you're always going to be peaceful. You're always going to be happy. Nothing ever is going to break your heart or stuff like that. But what I really found out on this journey was you go through a lot of things. You go through a lot of change. You go through a lot of transformation. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, you're going to go through it. But for me, at first, it was like that. Lollipops, butterflies, rainbows. It was like that. But as I started getting deeper into my spirituality, it started taking me through things, that I never really knew. Not really taking me through stuff, but really teaching me stuff about myself that I didn't know. And really about other people around me. So I want to wait to get into that. But like I was saying, how I started. I really started by just meditating, and then videos popped up. And then I just started doing research about spirituality and spiritual awakenings and stuff like that. But one thing I do have advice for is if you do watch YouTube videos regarding messages and stuff like that, please make sure you don't take everything into consideration. I really do feel like the whole thing may not resonate just because people are picking up on other energies of everyone else out in the world. So don't drive yourself crazy with that. And please don't overly obsess over the tarot YouTube videos, because I did that when I first started my journey, and that's not good because it will really lead you into a deep hole of like not knowing. You're so confused, so it's like you're relying on them videos, you know. Don't get like that, okay? That's number one advice for me. But currently now on my journey, I feel like I'm at a good place, you know. Like I said, when I first started, it was rainbows, lollipops, and then as I started getting deeper into my spirituality, I started noticing things like things I used to do I was no longer interested in, things that people I used to hang around I was no longer interested in. And it's just like my life was just slowly changing. Like I would just not do certain things anymore, not, you know, hang around certain people anymore. Like I swear to God, y'all, while I started this spiritual journey, I lost friends. Like I lost close friends, people who I thought were family. I lost them because they were just not in alignment with who I thought I truly was, you know. Well, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but they just aren't in alignment with who I am today, you know, and who I was becoming. When you are in your spiritual journey and you feel like you are losing people that you truly love and care for, don't feel bad or don't, you know, beat yourself up about it. These people are not meant to follow you on your journey forever. And they're most definitely not here to stay. Like a lot of people that come into our lives, they're just here to teach us certain lessons, you know, or just, you know, help us heal certain wounds within ourselves, you know. But I do feel like now that the people that I am meeting and, you know, coming into, I feel like these people I just got the chills. I just feel like these people are meant to be in my life. Like I felt like I needed to go through the things that I went to, you know, things that I went through in order to get where I'm at now. Like, I'm very blessed. Before I started my spiritual journey, I was in a bad place. Like, y'all, bad place mentally, bad place physically, bad place spiritually. Like, it was just terrible. Like, and I felt like, oh my God, I want to do so good in life, but I'm not doing anything to change my life. And I just felt like before my spiritual journey, it was just nothing. Like, financial situations was terrible. It felt like something was always going wrong, or, you know, it was just always something bad happening. But like now that I've removed myself and, you know, got connected with myself, I really do see a big change throughout like everything that I've been going through. Like, y'all, last year when I started my spiritual journey till now is like amazing. Because if you guys would have known me when I first started this journey, y'all would be like, girl, this is not like what? Like, I swear y'all would. And it's like, it's amazing experience. I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing experience. And I keep getting the chills because I'm so excited, because when you start your spiritual journey, it's like it's amazing, because you break down parts of yourself that you've never known. You know, you really dig deep into things that you've never known you needed to heal. And it's just like amazing, because once you've healed and gone through the things, the transformation, the changes, the challenges and everything, it's like, wow, I never knew I thought I could do this. You know, actually be happy with myself and actually be at peace. And, you know, not care if someone doesn't, you know, like me, or someone talks about me, or I don't fit people's perspective. You know, I no longer care. And I feel like that's what spirituality and is really about. Really tapping into who you truly are, you know, your true authentic feelings, your true authentic self. Like, it's amazing. About my currently where I'm at now, I am in an amazing place in my spiritual journey. But I promise y'all, it takes time to get here. Like, it takes time. You'll go through it. Like, I promise y'all, you'll go through a lot of healing. One thing I've also learned about spirituality and during my spiritual journey is healing It's a forever process. You will constantly go through healing. You could have healed something 5 weeks ago and you're crying today about that thing you healed. And I feel like that's the amazing thing, because you continuously keep healing, and it's like you continuously keep growing from what you healed from. Like, I don't know. I really hope y'all understand it, but it's just amazing. I don't want to keep rambling, so let's get to the next thing. Lessons I've learned in my spiritual journey. Lessons I've learned. To use my discernment, you know, not give my energy so much to others, you know, respect my boundaries. I've learned to set boundaries. Also, I've learned to say no. That's one thing I've learned, to say no. I'm a yes person. I'm a Virgo. So if y'all know about Virgos, we love to care for people. We love to give. We love to make sure that other people we're very nurturing and caring. So I'm the type of person that will not say no because I feel like it will hurt someone's feelings. So, but now it's like, I don't care. You know, if it's not benefiting me, it's not helping me be at peace, and it's not, you know, something I feel, you know, I just know. But also some other lessons I've learned was to listen to your intuition, okay? Your intuition is the most accurate thing that will help you throughout your life. Intuition will guide you throughout your life. So if y'all don't learn one thing today, y'all will learn to trust your intuition and follow it, and follow that gut feeling. Like, when I say, that's probably one of the number one things I've learned, because I've noticed with humans, with people, we don't trust ourselves. We don't, you know, trust our intuition sometimes. And it's not like a purpose thing. It's just like, we kind of were taught not to trust ourselves. So sorry for that interruption. But like I'm saying, if you don't trust yourself, how will you trust others? You know, how will you trust other people? Like, think about that. I really want y'all to think about that. If I don't trust myself, how can I trust others? You can't. There's no way around it, okay? The grass isn't greener on the other side, okay? I've learned that too. I've learned that. Now, when I say that, I mean as in, you know how we feel like, oh my God, this person is doing so amazing. You know, I want to do that. I want to try to get where they are. So you start doing something, and you're not getting exactly where that person is, okay? And it's like, oh my God, I want to be there. I want to be there. I want to get there. I want to get there. The grass isn't green on the other side is because you don't know what that person went through to get there, okay? You don't know what challenges, what steps, what sacrifices they had to do or take in order to get exactly where they are. So that's another thing I learned. The grass is not always greener on the other side, okay? And some advice I'm going to give you guys. It's kind of basically what I've been saying. I don't even know that, but advice. Number one advice. Always make sure you're happy. Always make sure you're not holding any feelings in, okay? Always let yourself feel your feelings. Don't ever suppress feelings, because once you suppress that feeling and you hold it in for so long, once it's time to explode, it's like you're going to explode. So don't hold any feelings in. I've learned that. Meditating. Now, this is something that a lot of people are kind of confused about, mostly ask questions about, is meditation. Now, a lot of people make it seem like you have to sit in one spot and all the time. No. Meditation is something that has your focus, okay? Something that's keeping your focus. Something that's keeping you clear-minded, okay? One thing for meditation is you can go for a walk in nature. You know, you can go without music. You can just take a walk in nature and just really think about things that you really need clarity on, okay? Another thing is writing. You know, writing down your feelings, writing down your emotions, writing down what your day been like. You know, I feel like that's a part of meditation. Art, you know, basically something that will keep your focus is meditation, okay? Everyone is not your friend, okay? Everyone is not your friend. No matter how much this person presents this amazing energy to you, make sure you actually use your discernment with certain people you meet, because certain people will put a false accusation on themselves and fool you. Okay, that's one thing I've learned. Everyone is not your friend. And let go when it's needed, when you need to let go of things. Okay, because holding on to something that no longer serves you, no longer, you know, deserves to be in your life, it will kind of put you in a bad place. Okay, it will keep you in the same energy that you're in while you're holding on to that person. You're like, or whatever it is, it don't have to be just a person, it could be a thing, you know. You're like, why is nothing progressing? Why am I not receiving my blessings? Why am I not seeing myself progress? It's because something you're holding on to. You have to let go of something in order to step into some type of new energy, a new beginning, anything new. You have to let go of something in order for it to start and begin. Okay, I really feel like I covered everything. I'm really not sure. I think I did though. Like that, y'all are free to DM me or anything like that. I'm free to take anything. Like you guys can DM me on my Twitter or my Instagram. And y'all can most definitely ask me questions about, you know, anything that you need to know regarding your spiritual journey. Oh, one thing for sure, make sure you drink water. Someone out there needs to hear that. Start drinking water consistently. That will help. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about before I end this. I'm sorry. The dark night of the soul. Okay, now there's a part of your spiritual journey where you will feel like everyone is out to get you. You will feel like no one is there to help you. You'll even feel like your spirit guides aren't there to help you. But I feel like it's an amazing thing to go through, because you actually, it's really like you learn things on yourself, like with yourself. It's like your guides want to see how you do alone, you know. So it's like you really go through a lot. You go through a lot of, I feel like a lot of things that were suppressed, or things that you went through, you know, a long time ago, or, you know, stuff like that. I feel like that will come up during the dark night of the soul. But it's only to go through a healing. It is an amazing transformation, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's a hard one. Like, you'll really feel like no one is there. You'll feel so alone, and it's like you'll want to give up. But right when you give up, is like, that's when a change happens. So that's all I want to say. I wish everyone the best on their spiritual journey. Like, this is an amazing journey. Whether you go through bad things, whether you go through good things on this journey, it's an amazing journey to go through. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. Like, I really hope you guys take the time to get to know yourselves and learn more about yourselves. And that's really all I have to say. I also started, if y'all didn't know, I am a tarot reader. I started tarot reading in like February, so like 2 months after I started my journey. So yeah, that is experience too. But that is all I have for you guys today. I really hope you guys liked this video. I hope this helped you. I hope this gave you a lot of information, a little clarity on things that you've been going through. Like I said, if you guys want to ask me anything, my DMs are open. But yes.
Hello, I'm Nancy, and I am a tarot reader and very beginner curandera. Curandera and curanderismo is a Mexican-rooted spiritual healer. Translated to English, that's the best way I can do. But one of the main things I feel is important when starting your spiritual journey is understanding that everyone's spiritual journey is different. And it starts differently for each of us, and each of us experience our gifts differently. And getting started into it, it's important to do a lot of research. Research is going to be the main thing that helps you find out what your lineage is, and where your roots are from, and what it's okay for you to practice, and what may not be so okay for you to practice. And just learning things on your own, while also taking some advice from others, but also remembering to stay true to what feels like connects and resonates with you. I began my spiritual journey about a year ago, and what it's helped me with so far is my depression, and that was the main root of what really started me in finding my spiritual journey. And let's see, it feels like it came really natural for me when I was going through a pretty bad breakup, and I felt lost. I felt like I had lost myself, and I felt my depression was at a peak stage that I had never reached before. And trying to refine myself, I turned to Ariana, and she helped me discover how meditating would help with my depression, and how really just looking into the spiritual world can help you kind of refigure out who you are. I started off with reading books, one about chakras and learning on my chakras and how to heal my chakras and how to open those blockages, which is really important when you're first starting off. Another important thing to remember is that when you start your spiritual journey, you're going to be facing a lot of your own demons, and you have to be ready to understand where you're wrong and how you can fix yourself and become a better person. We are all constantly healing, and this is something that you will never fully be done with, and it's something that's important to understand as you grow as a spiritual being. It's okay to have lapses, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be angry, and that's something that a lot of people don't shine light on. It's not always happiness, it's not always rainbows. And when you're a spiritualist as well, a lot of the times when you're dealing with hard times, you try to force yourself to be okay all the time, and it's important to remember that you're not always going to be okay. With spirituality, I feel like it's also important to remember that religion and spirituality do not always go hand in hand. So some things that you may believe in may go against what you start to learn as you become a more seasoned spiritual believer, and dipping into different cultures and learning different stories. Remembering to keep an open mind is so important, because what you may have believed in the past, you may find something that contradicts that, and it's okay to challenge your own beliefs and learn more and make yourself more known of what's going on around you and what's different in the world to experience. One of the main things is when you start this spiritual journey, you want to make sure that anything that you decide to practice in, that you're learning the roots, you're learning the backlash people have started, and making sure that it's okay for you to cross that line. There's some things that's not for everyone, and that's okay. You can just follow the path that you know is calling to you and that you know is going to be good for you. Don't force anything to feel like home for you. This is the main reason why I consider myself a curandera. It is something that has ran in my family for years, and it's not something that I knew until I started my spiritual journey. And then some of my family members did open up to me. It let me know about different curanderas that were in my family and different tarot readers that were in my family throughout the years. It wasn't something that was widely talked about, because with a lot of things that curanderas do or tarot readers do, it's seen as witchcraft or brujeria, and understanding where that comes from and where that stems from is going to be something that's an eye-opener as well. With learning about curanderismo, I realized that a lot of practices are not what people make them out to be, and it made me challenge a lot of my beliefs as well. It's been a huge journey of learning the truth and my roots and where my family comes from. And one of the main things that I like to do is looking on YouTube helped me a lot, finding other curanderas and learning their stories and how I could incorporate what they practice into what I practice without being disrespectful to their beliefs was important as well. A lot of curanderas do follow the moon, and they work with the moon and the moon phases, and so I'm currently learning about that as well. I do have this moonology book that I'm reading, and it's teaching me about the different phases of the moon and what each phase of the moon can help us with the release or manifest, or just how to use its energy to energize ourselves as well. This is something that's been going on for Mexicans for years, dating back to before the actual before they were taken over by the Spaniards, we had our own deities that we followed. We had our own worships that we did. And so with that, being raised in a Christian household and a Christian family, I realized that a lot of my beliefs started to change, but also that I still respected the beliefs of others around me. When I started my spiritual journey, it's been about a year, as I stated, but I've always been sensitive to the spiritual world and tied to them in a different way. When I was younger, I had a friend that I saw, and I would see them very clearly, and their name was Angel. And I would speak with this person, but it was someone only I could see and only I could interact with. With that, I got bullied by other children around me because they thought I was just always talking to myself. But it comes to find out that I was actually interacting with the actual spirit. It was someone who was sent here to protect me, and who is still around me. Till this day, I can sense them. Although I cannot clearly see them as I did when I was younger, I do sense them around and do feel that I'm very well protected, as is my family. I come from a very long line of curanderas or brujas or witches, and they're very powerful, and they make their presence known consistently to me, especially when I leave my offerings out. It is important to leave offerings for those that you work with, making sure that you are letting them know that you're grateful for what you already have and what they're planning for you. As I was younger, I would be able to know things that I was not supposed to know, and I never knew why or how. And so being connected with the spiritual world has just always been a part of me. And when I was younger, my mom went to a palm reader, and she let my mom know that I was very well protected, that there was someone strong, that there was strong energy, and there was something different about me. And it would come to know in later years. Well, as I got older, my senses weren't as strong, though I would have dreams and I would be able to see like different things that people that was gonna happen. I would know it before it happened. And then also with that, I always felt like there was someone around, there were spirits around, and I was always sensitive to how other people felt around me. Being that a lot of my energy would be drained a lot because I took so much empathy towards everyone else that I would harbor their feelings along with mine. With that came a lot of depression, and learning how to cope with my depression throughout the years, I realized that there was something more to it, and I wanted to figure out how to work with it. When I started my spiritual journey is when things started opening up even more, and that's when I became more sensitive to the 5D realm and to the spirits around me and being able to see things and knowing what things that I experienced in the past were and not feeling so crazy about them. One thing that I remember very strikingly to me once I started meditating and once I started learning more about how to connect with spirits and how to protect yourself from the bad ones and how to interact with the good ones, one thing that I really remembered was when my grandpa Ree passed away. I had a dream, or what I thought was a dream, of him showing himself on the wall to me, and it being very vivid, me being able to speak to him and hear him very clearly and to smell him and just to completely see him for who he was. And he had passed away, and he was just letting me know that he was okay, and it was okay for me to let him go. And by let him go just means to pass on to the other life, that he would still always be. I remember it feeling so real to me that I was crying in tears, and I could just feel his presence everywhere around. I look back now and I'm like, that was him letting me know that he's still here. He is one of my ancestors that I consistently interact with. And, you know, just looking back, I know that it was okay for that to happen. You grow up in this world where they make it seem like spirits are all evil, and they're just, you don't realize how many are actually here to help you and to protect you. And he was showing me that he was just here as someone to protect me as I continued on. After that, I didn't have too many more experiences until I started meditating. When I started meditating, I started seeing different things. I would see different colors, I would see people, and I didn't know what it meant until I got deeper into my spiritual journey, and I looked different things up and I researched, and I realized that these were my ancestors that were around me, that were protecting me, that were letting their presence be known. the main thing is having that feeling of who's good and who's bad and who you can't interact with. And the people all around me are sure to keep those bad energies away, and they protect me very well. I make sure to leave offerings, whether it's a glass of wine or a glass of water, or something that would be as simple as like an apple, something that I know that I can keep giving them and keep offering them, just to let them know that I am grateful. I do speak to them out loud when I'm at my altar as well, and I can feel them just holding me, letting me know that they appreciate that I appreciate them. One of the best things that I realized quickly too was not expecting everyone to understand what I do, and accepting me for who I was and the gifts that I have did not mean that everyone around me was going to accept them as well. There's a lot of criticism when it comes into being spiritualist, and you do have those people who doubt what we do or who demonize what we do. And it's important that once you start your spiritual journey, you stand firm in what you believe in, and you don't let other people tell you how to react to things, or let people tell you what you believe in is wrong, because it's not. A lot of what we do as spiritualists or as witches, we just connect with the earth in the way that it was meant to be here for us. We connect with the universe, and we work with what our higher being has created for us. And it's okay to do that. I see that a lot of the times we are having to fight and we are having to defend our practices, and that is because of a lot of what has been washed away and what has been made to seem wrong is not. And as you research, you'll figure out what you feel comfortable working with and what you don't feel comfortable working with. And it's important to set boundaries on what you will accept and what you won't accept, and being able to tell people, no, I don't practice that. I'm sorry, but if you want someone who does, I know this person or that person who will help you with that. Also, not letting other people take advantage of you is going to be important, because people will. If you become a tarot reader, you become any type of a person who works with people and telling them things, as far as a palm reader or just someone who's able to mediumship, not letting people take advantage of those gifts for you. It's going to be something that you want to start with from the beginning, and setting how you feel and setting that boundary of, no, I'm not going to let you take advantage of me and my energy. Making sure to take care of yourself, such as making sure you sleep right, eating well, taking the proper amount of water is so important as well when you go into the spiritual journey, because it can be so energy draining that you have to make sure that you're fueling yourself right, as well as allowing yourself time in between healing, to just remember that you're still a normal person. We are not these mystical beings that just have endless energy. We have to make sure that we're properly taking care of ourselves, as well as not letting others take advantage of us. Wanting to learn where you come from, it's important to open up to family members and ask them for pointers as to what practices, what different religions you practiced in the past, or even just what connects to you. If you feel connected to something when you see it, researching that and learning about its past, and asking your ancestors and your guides to show you if that's the right one, and they will. They'll show you whether it's in a dream or you keep seeing signs, things being repeated to you and shown to you. For me, when I figured out I was a curandera, and if you're an inspiring curandera as well, this is a book that I do recommend, and it is Cleansing Rites of Curanderismo, Limpias Espirituales of Ancient Mesoamerican Shamans. And it gives you a lot of different backgrounds in what curanderismo is, where it stems from, the different passages that each curandera took, and different cleanses, different opportunities to just learn different things of how the native and indigenous people of Mexico actually practiced before it was taken over, and how you can interact that in your life. Connecting with the earth is not as hard as people may make it seem. It's actually really simple. Simple things is just taking walks or being outside can help you feel more connected. Learning about past lives that you may have lived as well, by just asking your ancestors, will help you on your spiritual journey as well. And just anything that seems to stand out to you, I would say reading about it looking at videos about it, asking others that you may know who do dabble in it. It's important. It's also important to learn that you do have a tribe out there of soul sisters and soul brothers that you're gonna feel instantly connected and attached to, and feeling comfortable enough to reach out to them. You can learn so much from other spiritualists that do different things that you may not end up practicing in, but you at least have that knowledge of what it is, and you'll be able to help someone who may want to do that, lead them in the right direction. It's important to be well-rounded in the spiritual world and learn the different opportunities that you may have, because everyone's gift is different, everyone's spiritual journey is different, and having the opportunity to look at different routes is so important. We do plan on doing more of these videos, and so hopefully I'll be able to give you guys more in-depth conversations. So leave any comments that you have about curanderismo and where it came from. Any questions you have, you can leave the comment, and hopefully I can answer more questions for you. This was just a brief beginning interview, not interview, but a beginning video that is going to be the start of something that's going to be wonderful, hopefully, and we can give you guys, answer more questions for you guys as we do more videos together. And I'm super excited about everything that we will be able to unlock for y'all. Thank you for watching.
What is up, you guys? It is 11, the tarot reader here, and I am so glad to be doing this video for you guys. Suddenly, I just want to go ahead and give you guys a brief summary of who I am. I am 19 years old. I am a tarot oracle psychic reader. I'm starting to practice a little more in the witchcraft category as well this year. I'm non-binary. I'm 19 years old. I just graduated high school last year, 2020, so congrats for that. I dance, I YouTube, I really like taking pictures, like modeling. I love all of that. All right, so now we're gonna dive into how I got into my spirituality, and yeah. So pretty much how now this is really, every time I tell the story, it's so funny. It's really awkward telling the story about how I got into spirituality. So pretty much me getting into spirituality was, I was watching Coven, the season of American Horror Story, and the entire season, I just knew that I was meant to be in the witch-like world, the spiritual realm, the witch world. I knew that was me. I knew that was my craft and my crowd. So I started looking in my birth chart. And once I found my big three, I started looking in that, getting to know myself more on the astrology side. And then I started looking into spirituality. Once I started looking into spirituality, this was about around January of last year. So I was definitely a beginner, fresh off the scene, and just really diving in off of my own knowledge. So I started looking at tarot readers on YouTube. And then I proceeded to go and get my own oracle deck. Because before then I had started following all these spiritual people on Twitter, and I had became really close friends with this one spiritual reader. Actually, she's not a reader, she's just a spiritual person, a spiritual advisor, if you will. I got close with her, and me and her started, you know, trading notes, talking about our experiences and all of that. So she's the one who gave me the nudge to get my own deck of cards. So I did. And when I did, at first it was really hard picking up readings and, you know, deciphering what the meaning was, obviously. So I started with myself, one card pull a day, and then I would refer to the book. At first I would go off of my intuition, and then I would go to the book and see if it equaled up. Usually it did. Then I moved after like maybe, so I got the deck in around the end of January of last year, and then maybe for about, so I'll say April, middle of April, I started going around doing it for friends for free, with family of course too. And then I decided in March I was going to do my own business, because it was just, everything was becoming so accurate, everything I was saying was accurate. So I was like, now let me start charging people. So I did that. Yeah, currently now though, So ever since I started my own tarot business, locally I am the one people come to in for readings. I live in Statesville, North Carolina, so I am the one that people come to for readings in my town. Not because spirituality isn't really that big, and you know, everybody knows about me, and everybody already knows about me from dancing and just how open I am and free I am. So when I started doing tarot readings, everybody was supportive of that. So yeah, I do have a little support with the tarot thing. I do have customers from that locally. Something else currently that I'm working on trying to get in the works. Right now, I am a full 9-to-5 tarot reader. I quit my own job mostly because I just hate working for people. That's just that. I legit hate working for people. It irritates my soul, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So like when I was at McDonald's, I quit. The manager made me mad, and I just up and quit. And then from there, I was just like, you know, I'm gonna up these prices and work my ass off with these readings. And from there, that's what I've been doing. Lessons that I've learned, I'm sorry, my dog is messing with me. Some lessons that I've learned is using your discernment. Discernment is something very cherishable. You definitely have to use your discernment in this spiritual world, spiritual community, because people will give you good energy at first, and then whole time, you know, they're evil eyeing you. So I had to learn that the hard way as well. I went through my own spiritual attacks very early on when I went into the spiritual community. So yeah, just something to keep an eye for. Quality. Make sure that when you do, if you are thinking about doing spiritual work or just being spiritual, make sure anything you do in it it's worth doing. Like what you're offering your ancestors, what you're offering your spirit guides, it has quality to it. Quality matters. Whether it's you just, you know, your offerings or rituals, or just you doing your spiritual practices, such as being a reader, being a psychic medium, you know, etc. All of that. Quality matters. Self-worth, that also matters as well. If you do not feel as confident, or you're that bitch mode as a reader or as a spiritual person, or not even just a spiritual person, just in general, if you do not feel confident in yourself, spirituality has helped me a lot when it comes to my self-worth. I promise you I would not be here today if spirituality was not welcomed into my life. Definitely, spirituality definitely helps with your self-worth. You definitely build your own self-worth up tremendously when you start looking into spirituality. So if you are wondering about spirituality, don't be scared about it. Dive into it. Be open-minded. Don't be scared of your own spirit guides, your ancestors. They're not here to hurt you. They would never hurt you. Know that you're always protected at all times. Evil things don't usually come to you unless, you know, obviously you're prone to that energy. So yeah, my dog is crazy. So yeah, if you're prone to that energy, then definitely it will happen to you. But you know, if not, then it won't. So definitely don't worry about evil things coming to you if you're tapping into spirituality, because that's not what's gonna happen. Yeah, but I think that's about it for me. All of my socials will be put up here. You guys can always, you know, DM me personally for any questions you may have, any services you may want me to give you, and I will gladly do that for you. Thank you so much.
All right, well, hi guys. Of course, my name is Ariana, of course, or aka SHAESTAROT, as you know, since it is up here on my channel. This will be my story about how did I get into what I am doing today, and where I am now and going forward. So let's get started. So beginning my story, I knew something. So when my spiritual journey, or how my life really had kind of took this turn, so 2014 in high school, 2014, and even before that, I had struggles with God. I had struggles with just church and stuff like that. And it wasn't a surprise to my parents because my parents do church at home. So I end up loving church at home than actually going to church. And maybe that was my Taurus, and I have 2 Taurian parents, by the way, so if that makes sense. And then I'm a Taurus, and then my siblings Cancer and Aquarius, and well, 2 Aquarius, 1 Cancer. So it would make sense, of course, why we would want to, or we're very unorthodox and very different. So eventually going to church and stuff, I was just having a lot of struggles, man. I was having a lot of struggles, depression, and even though I still deal with that today, but depression definitely was hitting hard in high school. Other personal issues was hitting hard in high school. So in 2014, I lost God. I lost God. So once, I think around 2016, came around my senior year of high school, somehow I just began coming back. I began coming back to God. Like I said, I was still having a lot of struggles, but for some reason, things were turning around. Things were just slowly coming back, where it was like kind of like when I strayed away. Of course, God never left, so God will never leave you. He knew my heart has changed from 2014 to 2016, so a lot has changed for me. A lot has changed around. Talking to my grandmothers, really, I feel like really brought me back to, you know, God. But this brought me back in a different way, where why I was dealing with stuff I was dealing with as well is because I just didn't understand. And even as a kid, I always dealt with seeing spirits, dealing with spirits and all that. So that also contributed to me becoming even more depressed, because I also felt like I was alone, felt like I was crazy, but I really just couldn't see the signs or understand the signs at the time as a child. So like I said, it was just really rocky. Even as a child, luckily for me, my mom and my grandmother is gifted. So, but I don't think they really label themselves as that, but they're very gifted and very spiritual and open about a lot of things when it comes to just God and stuff. Like I said, my mom's very orthodox as well as how she does things. So that makes sense of why I am the way I am as well today. Dealing with spirits growing up, my life was basically like the Ghost Hunter show. If you remember that show on WeTV or something like that, the Ghost Hunter show was my life as a kid. So it really caused a lot of conflict and stuff, and made me kind of lose God, because I felt like I was cursed. And just plus everything that I was dealing with and everything, it just made me feel like I was cursed. So 2016, I was coming back around. 2016 was also, like I said, my senior year, and this is the year, of course, that I also was going to be going off to college. That, you know, that weird range in a year where you complete, and then August is coming up. So I went to my college, Johnson Wales University, Charlotte, and I ended up meeting my now best friend, and we ended up somehow seeing each other downstairs, and then we ended up somehow being roommates for that, for the little summer thing, you know, when you go down for the camp just to see how the school is and live down there for a little bit. Yeah, that's what we were doing. So her mom had left her phone in the caf, and I knew it was her phone. I'm very observant, and that's maybe just my Taurus self as well. I'm very observant and knew that was her phone, her mom's phone. So I grabbed her phone, gave it to her, and some things and words were exchanged where her mom, that is gifted as well, and she's gifted as well, and told me some things, well, knew something about me that ended up telling me later, but I didn't really understand still what was going on. I'm still dealing with sleep paralysis and spirits and all types of stuff coming at me, but I didn't tell anybody that. So I think around my sophomore year, I had something going on, like I think I had a panic attack and stuff like that, and I was dealing with sleep paralysis. I always dealt with that. It's just, you know, these spirits coming up to me, it can stress you out. It stressed me out. I didn't understand what in the world was going on or what people wanted. So what these spirits wanted. So as I was telling my friend, she told me her mom asked if I was actually gifted, and I knew I was something. Like I said, I just didn't want to say gifted. I thought it was crazy. So my best friend ends up telling me that her mom says that my life will change in such a weird, positive way that I wouldn't understand why or how or what was happening during that time. Child, she wasn't lying. She was not lying. Into my junior year of college, I began working at this job, this sales job. I sell for AT&T, door to door. Horrible, most biggest mistake I ever made. But at the same time, biggest lesson I felt like I learned as well. Because that also brought a lot of revelations and tested my empath side and how you know, to just really see if I was crazy. But and luckily for me as well, in 2016, I ended up meeting my boyfriend, my current boyfriend, almost 5 years. He's also gifted and awakened, but I don't think he was too sure about that. But he's very spiritually awakened. So just know it just made it more accepting and easier for me to do what I was dealing with. And he's a Virgo as well. So, you know, he got in my mind and he really helped with a lot of things. So up to that point, my junior year, we both were working a sales job. And some certain things has happened, you know, whatever, that gave some revelation, but it still wasn't, you know, still wasn't really clicking. There's some things that I had, some really, really big things that I had that were revealed and that I had to reveal that I realized I was definitely right about. So around that time, while we were doing that sales job, one day I woke up just out of nowhere, just woke up next to him and said, and I don't even remember what the dream really kind of was, but I knew what God told me. So I woke up next to him and I looked at him in his eyes and I said, God wants me to buy tarot cards and read for people and be his messenger. Child, I swear to you, not that just came straight out of my mouth. I never heard of tarot cards. Not really. Maybe I did, but not really heard of them. Whatever. Never had any type of view against people during spiritualists. Whatever. I'm very open-minded as well. So I'm on my business. You know, as long as you're doing right, what's my problem? When I told him that I needed cards and then God told me to be his messenger, my boyfriend just said, do what you gotta do. And I'm just that type of person anyway. That's my soulmate. So once he tell me, like, do what I gotta do, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Just like when my mama say I'm not wrong, my mama say I'm not wrong. So I bought my first deck in September of that year. So that was starting my junior year, I think. Or like my senior year. Junior year coming into senior year was kind of weird times. I began that September, I started reading for myself personally. I told my best friend about it because it's the same best friend that is gifted. She's an empath and her mom is also very gifted. So I told her about me buying the cards and I was reading on myself. I was doing like $2, $3 readings, but I wasn't even really advertising it because, come on, we all know how that's gonna look. So I read for her. She told me I was right. And then I ended up having a few of my close friends book with me and they told me I was right. I even guessed. It wasn't even a guess, bro. It was just like, yo, I even read for like someone's baby was on the way. I'm scared to say that, child. I had the Empress card up right. And you know, Empress don't always mean birth to kids. It could be birth to ideas, birth to just anything in life. Child, my mind, spirit was like kids. So when I did that especially that one last reading that I had when I guessed, I realized this wasn't guessing anymore. This is actually a real gift because I was able to do a lot more other things without cards as well. So it just, like I said, it really confirmed things for me. From going then on, I started really talking about my business and really bit more at school. And I started reading cards out of my dorm and on the phone, talking to people, reading cards. I had classmates, just end up, like, for some reason, I just end up coming out and just, like, whatever, bro. Like, I read cards. Like, this is what I do. I'm gifted to do it. Like, this is what I don't know, just straight up. And even before I really jumped into it, I even told my mother what I was doing. And my mom, supported me 100% of the way. And she already gave me that heads up. Even my boyfriend gave me that heads up that, people are not going to agree with what you're doing and not understand what you're doing. But, they told me they backed me 100% of the way. It just kind of really went from there. Like, it just really went from there. For some reason, it really just took off from there. I didn't even care about a job no more. Never really cared for working with jobs. I think I just quit my job from Amazon, too, because every job that I work at, I'm an amazing employee. I'm an amazing worker. I perfect anything I do, and I know how to run up a bag and run up some hours. But for some reason, every time, even while reading tarot, beginning to read tarot, I just was not happy. My soul is very powerful, and I know that, and I'm an old soul on top of that, so my soul is very powerful. If I'm not happy with something, it's gonna show. If I try to tug it out, I will. But child, if I end up crying, I got to go. Okay, I got to go. Third house in Pisces, so yes, I have to go. I just end up quitting and leaving, and my ancestors looked out for me every single time. Now I think about it, like they always do. So, and at that time, my ancestors were also leading and connecting with me. Recent ancestors that had passed on also was connecting with me. really helping me out. It was just strange. Just things get so strange. But she wasn't, my best friend's mom wasn't lying when she said it was going to be strange. It definitely was. That's when I started meditation. Started doing the hypnosis. And that's when I ended up starting meeting my ancestors a little bit. Like I started seeing some of them, or getting clues from some of them, and met my past life person. Met my past life person for the first time my junior year. I can't believe it. But, and yeah, she's here today. Well, it's me. But, you know, like, I still meet my past life person through, you know, astral projecting. So a lot was happening there. It was a lot unfolding that I was dealing with personally, but it was a great unfold. Like, during this journey, really coming out and talking about I'm reading cards, I ended up cutting a lot of people off. People that weren't even friends, like just removing people from my Facebook, like really just reorganizing my spaces and really removing who needs to be removed. Now, I may not have got everyone removed, but I got a lot of people removed because I seen a couple statuses. People was gonna throw shade, you know, talking about them believing what I do, and let me tell you something, God is the only way, you know, all this other shit. So, and not one person ever asked me if I still believe in God or if I believe in God. I'm a firm believer in God, and still is to this day. I slash people saying that it wasn't natural and you can't wave your hands around candles and all this other shit. If I would have listened to them, I would have never been right here talking to you guys right now. Actually, before the virus, I came home early in March to finish up my degree at home, because for one, I wanted that refund check, and two, I was just ready to go. I just want to come back to walk, but you know, as well, 2020, it didn't happen. So around when I came home in March, I was looking for a few jobs. I know the pandemic, but it was so weird. It was like jobs just straight over just closing the door on me. Even jobs that claimed it wasn't hiring were hiring. It was just weird, bro. Like, you could just tell, like, the way stuff was set up. Like, none of this was meant for me to deal with these jobs. So I just ended up moving on from that and just really just diving deep into my business. Really, like, now I'm full in the flow. I'm in the groups. I'm in the, you know, I'm out on the open reading cards. Like, you got anything to say to me, you can be removed, you can be blocked. Like, moving on. Things have really worked out for me due to ancestors and me just working my butt off and just doing that. To where I am now, kind of moving forward into now, currently 2021. I still currently run my business full time. I am probably starting with a network in February as well, so I do got a new network job that actually pays more, just to keep the income coming, because the life of a tarot reader is not easy, and it is not a rich life when you first start out. So definitely as a tarot reader, you know that, like, life is hard. And definitely past tarot now. I am full-time tarot reader. Tarot is the love of my life. I have dove into now astrology and diving in even deeper into numerology. I am just all everywhere, all around spiritualist now. And like I said, to this day, life still isn't easy, but the blessings and everything come when it is needed. I tell you what, boy, it might be stressful, but it definitely will work out in the end. Definitely teaching myself currently what I actually really taught myself, and I feel like I'm over that hump and I'm on a new one now, is instead of asking why is this happening to me, ask what is this trying to teach me. So, you know, if you're struggling in, like, the light, trust, you're gonna see the light. The Hermit card is going to appear upright and not reversed. It's reversed right now, but it's gonna be upright. That would be definitely my advice to you. My advice to anyone that's on this journey is to stick through the mud. It's hard and it's not easy. There's gonna be things that try to take you off track. Go worth it in the end, trust me. Like, I'm not even where I want to be right now. Definitely not. But I am where I need to be. So, just really trust the process and trust your ancestors. Just have that faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. So yes, that is my story on how I got to where I am and what I, you know, do now. So thank you for listening to my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you later.